guys, it's me, the nerdiest leader nerd you know. In today's Leader School lecture, we are covering Schubert's song Die Krähe from Winterreise with text by Wilhelm Müller. So, what comes to mind when you think of a crow? Creepy black bird, perhaps? Makes a lot of noise? Maybe it's a harbinger of death or some other ominous event? I often turn to various mythologies when investigating possible hidden meanings behind the text. And in my zest to do exactly that, I found that crows and ravens seem to be referred to interchangeably. I thought that this point might just be worthy of investigation, which is why we are now here. So, hold on to your hats, kids. I promise there's a Schubert song at the end of this very dark, very feather-filled tunnel. Belonging to the same genus Corvus, the crow and the raven are often confused for the other. What exactly are the differences between crows and ravens? That question is a bit more difficult to answer than you might expect because the list of birds belonging to the corvid family is quite extensive. There's the carrion crow, the hooded crow, common raven, house the crow, list goes on. Crow. Pied crow, little raven, Australian raven, and forest raven, Chihuahuan raven, Hawaiian crow, collared crow, and on, fan-tailed raven, piping crow, American crow, long-billed crow, on. Look, I'm not an ornithologist, so I'm going to give you a very rudimentary and horribly inadequate summary. Anatomically speaking, crows tend to have rounded tails, broad feather fingers, slim straight beaks, and they are smaller than ravens. Their voices are higher in pitch, and they make a caw, caw sound, like this. Caw, caw! Just kidding, I'll give you a real one. Ravens typically have a diamond-shaped tail, long, thin feather fingers, their feathers are shinier, and they are typically bigger than crows. Ravens have deeper voices, and they make a croaking noise, thusly. Both birds are omnivorous scavengers, though crows are more likely to scavenge food off of humans as they tend to live in closer proximity to civilization. And ravens are more likely to hunt for small animals because they live in more remote and unpopulated regions. Both crows and ravens are fantastic problem solvers to an almost terrifying degree, and are even known to invent and use tools in their problem solving. They have been witnessed stripping sticks of bark and shaping them into hooks in order to probe for food in small places. And they understand water displacement. They will actually fill water containers with rocks in order to raise the water level to make it more accessible. They are known to plot or pre-plan tasks, and now this is nuts. They are able to recognize and to memorize human faces and have somehow figured out how to communicate that with each other. In some studies in which humans tagged crows for observation, when the humans came back to apply more tags, they were scolded by an agitated flock who had been informed by the offended crow that those humans had done them wrong. So, the next time someone calls you a bird brain, you better ask what kind, 'cause they may just be paying you a compliment. And finally, what I think is the coolest fact of all, crows and ravens participate in stunt flying in order to attract a mate. We're talking barrel rolls, somersaults, upside down flying. All I'm saying is, if someone ever tried to woo me with stunt flying, let me tell you, it would work. Mythologically speaking, crows and ravens fill many various roles. Contrary to what you might expect, not all mythologies portray crows as ominous creatures of darkness. In many of the more ancient mythologies, they often play a role in creation stories. In some, a crow is sent to find the first dry land for humans to step foot on, and in others, the crow brought light from the gods to humankind. In various Native American mythologies, they are shapeshifters, able to dwell in both the physical and the spiritual realms simultaneously. They are keepers of the law, oracles of divination or wisdom, and are symbolic of rebirth and change. In other mythologies, however, these birds suffer a worse reputation. In Norse mythology, 2 ravens serve as Odin's spies in the land of men. In Swedish tales, they were the angry ghosts of murder victims. And in Denmark, they were thought to be exorcised spirits. Other recent mythologies believed these birds to be shape-shifting witches or sorcerers because of their propensity to to easily adapt and adjust to problems, they are often portrayed as skilled tricksters. Most importantly for us, however, is the fact that they are regularly associated with the transformative journey from life into death. They are often portrayed escorting the dead to the underworld. This is the imagery that I believe Wilhelm Müller was alluding to in his poem Die Krähe. See, I told you we'd get back to our song. What Müller most likely drew on was the tradition of seeing crows filling the role of escort from life into death. Indeed, in the poem, the traveling exile looks above him and sees a crow that has followed him from the city further and further into his isolation. Let's hear what the traveler has to say in the poem itself. A crow has flown with me out of the town, and to this day has flown around and around my head. Crow, you peculiar animal, will you not leave me? Do you intend to take my body to the grave as prey? Now I do not have much further to go with my walking staff. Crow, let me see you be endlessly true unto the grave. Ugh, a little bit creepy, kind of dark. Probably should have thought about that before recording this lecture 100% alone in my dark house at night. In Schubert's setting of the poem, the piano helps paint a picture of the crow for us. With both hands set in the treble clef, the very first thing we are aware of is our attention being drawn upward to the crow in the sky. When the voice comes in, we can hear the crow flapping about overhead. It's that right hand that serves as the flapping. Occasionally, the crow stops to hover very close by. As if he is eager to escort this traveler on his final journey. There is an element of true tragedy and creepiness in that this corvid creature seems to be the traveler's only friend, his only loyal companion. I'll stop talking now and creeping myself out, but you should definitely go check out my full recording of this song on my IGTV channel, and let me know what sorts of things you hear in it by dropping me a sentence or two in the comments section. As always, you can find me on Instagram at LeaderNerd and on YouTube as Mandee Madrid-Sikich. Thanks for watching! Jamaican crow, Mariana crow, New Zealand raven, western jackdaw, rook, large-billed crow, white-billed crow, white-necked raven, palm crow, Flores crow, eastern jungle crow, Bismarck crow, high-billed crow, bougainvillea crow.